All right, so today I am here with Joe from Losberger. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hello, I'm Joe.Eimer. I'm from Losberger, DeBoer, and I am the Northeast Regional Salesman and Caribbean Salesman.
Cool. All right, so before we get into Losberger, because this is not just an infomercial about Losberger, he has actually worked in the rental industry on manufacturing side and stuff. So, and when he was younger, at a Taylor rental. So we'll get into that first.
Okay.
What is your background?
I started in the tent business when I was 18, back in 1991 at a local Taylor rental, right near my house. It was a summer job, got me through school. I went to college, got me through school, summer job, and after I graduated, got a job with a structure company on the rental side, and stayed with that for about 12 years. And then in 2012, I was able to get a job at Losberger.
Cool. Now, Losberger is a German company, right?
Yes, it's a German clear span tent manufacturer.
Okay. Now, a lot of people, I didn't know when I first began. I just thought a frame tent's a frame tent, but Losberger is a little different, right?
Yes, it is it's a structure tent.
And the difference being?
Difference is it's a much larger, usually comes in larger sizes. It's an extruded aluminum tent, and it is engineered to the building code.
Right. Now, I usually tell people if you don't know what it is or if you've never seen it, because in your normal day-to-day life, you're not going to see it. But if you just turn on a PGA tournament,
yes,
or a horse race,
yes,
those are usually the tents that you see in the background.
Exactly, yes.
They're not just, like a frame tent is good for an everyday use, but they're heavier duty.
Yes.
Right.
They're much more substantial.
Right. You'll see them at a lot of hotels where they're going to stay up the whole season kind of thing.
Exactly. A lot of hotels, some colleges, they use them basically as event spaces.
Right.
Or temporary spaces. And you're usually up for the season, if not, all year round.
Right. Now, I've put up Losberger with my friend Sean. Mm-hmm. He did the inauguration for Trump. And it was a double-decker.
Yes.
And two off to the side. And I'll show a picture of that. But they were impressive. You can see the difference between a structure tent and just a regular old frame tent. It was just a lot more heavy duty. Mm-hmm. But why don't you get into what Losberger does? Their kind of, what's their selling point?
It's a German engineered product.
Right.
It is top class.
Right.
All the way around. We actually, everywhere else in the world, Losberger has a rental department that rents tents and goes after, big projects and rental projects. Except here in the U.S., we don't rent anything in the U.S. or Canada.
So you guys sell to?
We sell to rental companies, and they can rent it. But with Losberger having a rental department, everything we make is for rental,
right?
The rental industry. Not to mention everything that, a leg that we made back in 1991 will fit on a tent that is sold yesterday.
Right.
Because we can't change the design, because it's gonna really hinder our whole rental department worldwide.
Right.
So the consistency in all the product going from when we started up until now really comes true.
Right. And I've seen the stuff, and it is crazy good. Now, you guys are in meters.
Yes.
Right. So everything's in meters. So whenever you're looking at a Losberger, you gotta do the math. But
or you can get an app on your phone.
Or you can get an app on your phone. But it kind of works out. A 12 meter is close to 40 wide.
40 feet, yes.
15 meter
is 50 feet.
Right. So it's pretty much the same. But let's say a 12 meter by, I'm looking for a 40 by 100. Mm-hmm. So what would that be? 12 meter by?
It'd be a 12 meter by 30 meter.
Right. And what is that?
It's basically 40 feet by 99 feet, 99.2 feet.
So very close. Yeah. All right. So I've had a difficult time trying to explain what a Keter tent is. I've shown videos and pictures of it, but it's still kind of hard. So I figure someone who actually builds them for a living might be able to explain a little better.
All right. Well, Ketered vinyl. Basically, it starts with the frame. our extrusion, our profiles on the corners of the rectangle have a keter track. We call a keter track. All right. So it's 4 round holes, for lack of a better word, for the keter to run in. Now, second part of that is on your vinyl. On the outside, there's actually a rubber tube called a keter, which is sewn into the top. So now that rubber tube goes into the holes of the extrusion and then gets pulled through up and over.
Right.
In case of a roof panel.
Now, there's discussion. I've been talking with a guy. He puts all his keter in when the tent is still on the ground. And I put all my keter in once the tent is up in the air. What is like Losberger's suggested way to do it?
Well, with a Losberger clear span, you cannot put it in while the tent is on the ground because you build each frame, each arch individually and raise them up individually. So there's no way to put your roof panel in while the tent's on the ground.
Okay, so that would be with more of a traditional frame tent where you build the top and then put the legs in.
Exactly. That's not the installation process of a Losberger or a clear span.
All right. So, clear span. I use the word structured tent, but it's a clear span. And what is a clear span?
Clear span is basically an arched frame with no obstructions inside the tent.
Right. So you're inside. There's not cross beams in there. It's just what's up top.
It's an arch, series of arches all linked together. There's no center poles to support the roof. There's no gable poles or interior gable poles to support the roof. The arch basically holds itself up. There's no cables for bracing that go through the roof.
Right. Cool. All right. So a lot of us have set up frame tents, and like I said, there's the debate of putting the keter in on the ground or up in the air. So it's you build the top and then you put the legs in. What's the installation process with a Losberger?
Well, with a Losberger clear span, the installation process starts with the base plates. You got to square all the base plates first. So you get them all square, you get them staked down, then you can start building the arches. So you start with the first arch, gable arch, leg, rafter, crown, rafter, leg, back down to the base plate. And you build all your arches on the ground. So they're all laying on the ground. After that is finished, then you go by and you just lift each individual arch up by itself. So you lift your first arch up, brace it, and it's standing by itself. Lift the second arch up, and then you link the first arch to the second arch with your purlins. Then the third arch, link that one to the second one. Fourth arch, link that arch to the third one. Till you finish out your length.
And the purlins are the pieces that go from arch to arch.
Yes, the purlins are what connect one arch number 1 to arch number 2 and so on.
Right, and they kind of just hook in. I've seen my friend Sean, they put in one side and then they have a tool that pushes up and connects the other one.
You hook the round end on your first arch, you get your purlin fork, you raise it up, drop it in the clevis plate on arch number 2, and now they're all connected.
So the purlins are an easy process?
Yes, purlins are an easy process.
All right, so now the whole tent's up, the arch is up, the purlins are in, and then it's just pulling through the keter?
Yes, then you could either start with sidewall or you go with roof panels and gables.
So the sidewall can go on?
You can put sidewalls on before the roof panels, yes.
Right, because in a structure like this, the sidewalls are not attaching to the vinyl, they're attaching to the frame of the tent.
Yes, the sidewalls attach to the eave purlin and the legs.
Right.
So it's independent of the roof panel.
You're not using clips to hook them to it. It's independent. So you could put the sidewalls on first.
Yes.
Great. Let's talk about sidewalls, because when I was with my friend, we did all solid sidewalls. Some of them window, an actual door that went in, which I think is very interesting that you can do with these.
Yes, with our Losberger clear spans, you have the option of doing hard wall or cassette wall. We have both white PVC, smooth white PVC, and glass, actual storefront glass.
And actual doors that can attach.
And actual storefront doors, locking doors with panic bars.
So how do those attach? They attach to the frame somehow, and then is there like a foot?
Yep, there's a sill that goes in between your two base plates that your door and your glass sits on.
Right.
And we have what we call intermediate fixing rails, which are middle style. So each bay in a 5-meter tent will have 4 pieces of glass.
Okay.
All right. So you have your first piece of glass, and then we have an intermediate fixing rail, which connects to the sill and to your purlin that is normally used for vinyl sidewall. There's a slot there for that.
Okay.
So you put a piece of glass in, put your fixing rail in, next piece of glass, fixing rail, next piece of glass, fixing rail. And on the back side of the fixing rail is what we call a locker rail. So that basically sandwiches your glass, your outside, your intermediate, your fixing rail, locker rail sandwiches the glass so it doesn't fall out.
It just stays in, the wind's not going to matter.
Nope.
Right. If anyone's been watching, we just bought a barn venue and going to be putting up a structure, and Losberger is kind of like where we're leaning because we can get those solid walls in there and not have to go all the time and be fixing vinyl and whatever. I want it solid, structurally sound, and still look nice.
Yes.
So the engineering on a structure tent is going to be much higher than you can get on just a regular rental frame tent. It's engineered to be certain specs like wind rating and stuff.
Yes. All of our Losberger clear spans are engineered to the building code. So we can have anywhere, depending on the size and the profile, we can have anywhere from 115 mile an hour to 105 mile an hour, 3-second wind gust rating on it.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So who is the customer for these? I do know there's rental companies like my friend Sean. There's another one near me who they do consistently put them up week after week, take it down, put it back up. So obviously rental companies are the main customer, but these are also used all over the place though, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's end users out there that own our tents also, whether it's a hotel, a golf course, a college. You know, the hotel and golf course may need a extra banquet space.
Right.
You know, a college may be remodeling their cafeteria in the summer, you know, when school's out, but they still need to serve food.
Right.
So they put one up in their parking lot for 3 months.
Right. Yeah, so my friend Sean, he bought one from you and had it up at a hotel resort thing for the whole summer. I think he had the contract for 3 years. So he was a rental company who then rented it out to the hotel.
Yes.
They could have went and bought it themselves, but they wanted a rental company to handle, checking on it, storing it and stuff. But yeah, that's what these tents are kind of for. They're kind of for big events like PGA, hotels, big weddings, and you can do floors in the tent.
Yep, we have a flooring system for the tent. It's not how people here in the U.S. think of flooring. It's not a stage. Right. It's not a standalone stage. Okay. It's a flooring system for our tents.
So the floor goes down, and then the
tent goes down first.
Tent goes down first,
and then the floor sits on top of the base plates.
Okay.
Cool. So when we do our flooring, we have to level all of our base plates to make sure everything's level.
Right.
And then we can come in and put our flooring profiles in and our cassettes and shim them up.
Okay, so what if there's like a 2-foot grade on it? You can't just put your base plates on the ground and then do that.
No, you'd have to basically go out there and shim your base plates.
Okay.
Is what happened. And honestly, it's a much easier and quicker install when you do level your tent.
Right.
One of our Losbergers.
Gotcha. So another crazy thing is you can do multiple levels on these.
Yes.
Like double decker is common.
Yes, which we call the Emporium.
The Emporium?
Yes.
Cool. Have you done triple?
We have done, our rental departments out in Europe have done a triple decker tent.
So that's kind of crazy. So what is a double decker tent?
Basically, it's 2 levels. So, you know, you can have either a 6'8" leg, 6.8 meter leg, or an 8 meter leg in our Emporiums. And basically now you're putting a mezzanine inside your tent.
Right.
So halfway up your leg, you're building the floor. So you can use the ground floor and you can use the mezzanine level.
Right.
So now you have twice as much square footage in the same footprint.
Right. And then there's stairs that bring
And
you
there's
up.
stairs, there's interior, exterior stairs, yes.
Right. And you were saying that you also have a line that can be a double decker tent, but the top tent can also just be used as an individual.
Yes, it's a product we came out with called the Double Flex Emporium.
Right.
So basically we're building the mezzanine, and then we have inserts that are base plates. So you could use your existing Uniflex tent if you own one. You could use your existing Uniflex tent as the tent on top of it. On top, you could also take that off of the mezzanine and just put it on the ground, with normal base plates and stake it into the ground.
Right. That's cool. So what about the mezzanine? Say I had a job where they don't need the tent on top of it. They just want like a cool place inside, stairs upstairs, and then railings, and it's like a deck up there.
So basically, it's a freestanding mezzanine.
Okay.
Which we do also.
With nothing over it. It's just like a deck.
It's just a deck with railing around it,
right.
Stairs leading up to it, yes.
That's cool. So like a place on the beach, for example, could buy this or rent this, have an interior bar upstairs. You have tables
yes.
and umbrellas upstairs
yes.
looking out at the water.
Yes.
That's really cool. All right, so basically for next summer when we start getting into what we're going to put up on the property, Losberger is where we're leaning. Say I buy a Losberger to put up on the property. What's the customer service kind of thing like? Because I've never put one of these up before. Well, I've helped my friend, but we've actually never done it and experienced it full force.
All right. Well, before the tent even arrives, we would send you out a structural eval book, with all the structural calcs and, saying it conforms to the building code and everything like that. So you'll have that because you own the tent. We also send out drawings. This way you know what the measurements are to square the base plates. All that stuff is done well before the truck ever arrives.
And if we want to put concrete down before the tent?
Exactly. If you want to put concrete down, we can work out a DWG drawing that you can take to your concrete guy so he knows how big to build the pad. You could also take your eval book, which you now own, and you can then figure out how big your footers need to be to hold it
right
on the ground. Now, when the tent arrives, we do send basically an experienced Losberger installer to your job to show you, 1, how to put it up safely, 2, put it up efficiently, and 3, to teach you how to install it.
Right.
Because you're going to need to know for the second time you put it up, the third time you put it up,
right,
and everything like that.
So the first time it's brand new, you're helping them.
Yes.
And then that same customer buys a new product from you that they don't have experience with, basically the kind of the same thing?
Yes, exactly. So if they buy one of our modules, whether it's an add-on to our standard A-frame, whether it's a rounded apse end, a dome, an annex, a dormer, that we offer as add-ons, it's the same process.
Right.
You get your drawings, get your eval books, and you get someone there to show you how to do it.
Right. That's big because, like, if I just started doing Losbergers as a rental thing, I don't know where I am, and pretty much everyone watching, if they start growing and start expanding into PGA tours and putting things up for hotels for the whole season, they just don't know what they're doing. So the first time it would be big to have someone come out. That's good.
It's part of the job.
Right. Cool. All right.
And then as you own it, extra parts you may need, vinyl you may need. We hold, $4 to $5 million worth of inventory in Maryland.
Right.
And we make our own vinyl. We make all, our vinyl panels in Maryland.
Right. So what's interesting about a Keeter tent is it's sectional, and if something happens to the one section, you don't got to replace the whole thing.
Exactly.
The frame's going to be there. You'll have your other pieces, and then you can get that.
Exactly.
Order that one piece. Or say your customer wants clear tops. You could, the frame is universal. You just order the right clear tops, put those in. Maybe they want 2 ends to be solid and just the middle to be clear, or whatever. It's versatile.
Yes, it's all versatile, and all of our all of our large tents are pretty much based on our 5 meter spacings.
Right.
So each roof panel is independent, each sidewall panel is independent.
Right. So, like, say I have it up at a hotel and they want to make it a little bigger next year. I just got to go and add one more thing and add a new section of vinyl, and now it's bigger.
Exactly.
And didn't have to take the whole thing down.
Exactly. If you have it at 100 feet, you need to get, at 30 meters, you need to get it to 35 meters.
Right.
It's just one more arch and some purlins and vinyl.
Right.
And all you're doing, you're just adding on to what you already have.
So easy. Also, I've been trying to explain this to people, but they don't quite get it. So hopefully you have a picture. But you could build the frame, put an end on it, and then add some more arches, and that could be like a patio area.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Do you have pictures of that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I need some to try to explain to people what I'm trying to do. But so it's versatile. On either end, you could have a patio area.
Yes.
And an interior tent. You can also you can curve things.
We have wedges to make the tent curve. We actually put patios on the eave sides also.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. So that's Losberger. They're out of Germany. They do structured tents, which are slightly different. Well, not slightly, a lot different than frame tents. It's for specific installs when you need to have the engineering or you're going to be up for a long time. But that's Losberger. So thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
So that was the interview with Joe from Losberger. Losberger, they're crazy tents. There's no denying that they're like the best tent out there for a longer install or more high-end things. As he is leaving, he mentioned one more thing that I wanted to add in here. If you have a Losberger and you need more sections, he will point you in the direction of a bunch of rental companies who own Losberger, because you don't need to buy 2 new sections just to do one job. You can rent those 2 sections from another rental company. And like he was saying, everything's universal. So even if they have stuff from 1990, it's still going to fit your stuff that you bought last year. So there's a big nationwide network of people who own Losberger that if you need a few extra pieces for things or walls or whatever, that there's the resources for them so that you can get that and not actually have to buy it, just sub-rent it. So you can contact him and he'll let you know everything. And I'll put down Losberger's info down in there, as well as Joe's info down in the description. You guys, thanks for watching.